Welcome back to Honest News Network. Folks, I want to share a video with you. This person has a real good grasp on what's going on with Antifa, and I think you might be surprised to find out who they really are. It's pretty interesting information. I just want you to also know that recently today, we reached out to the FBI, both local and in Washington, D.C. And when we called Washington, D.C., they were so laid back about the subject that no wonder our country is in such trouble. I'm just amazed how laid back those who are supposed to be protecting us are. I was letting them know that this fascist group that's getting ready to riot and getting ready to cause civil war in the United States beginning November 4th, and possibly even a purge to go along with Christ Mass, which is Cronius. Anyway, I was letting them know about it, that on Facebook is letting these people promote themselves. And you can't tell me that they don't know that they're using social media to promote themselves. Why would Facebook allow Antifa to these people that are promoting nomorefascism.org, talking about the end of Donald Trump and Pence? Why is Facebook allowing this to be promoted? Okay? And, without question, this is the hypocrisy. This is the leaven that I've been telling you folks about. All right? This is, without question, the very thing that we've been dealing with. So, why is it that the FBI, when you do a search on their website at fbi.gov for Antifa, you don't find anything on their website? Nothing. And we learned that they had turned that all over to the FEMA, that FEMA is handling all this. So this is not even being handled at the FBI level. This has gone to FEMA. And so this arm of the government that was brought in under terrorism for 9/11 with the Patriot Act and all of that. So it seems anything that's to do with terrorism these days is handled by FEMA. Well, that doesn't give us a whole lot of comfort, does it? Knowing who FEMA are, knowing how they drop the ball left and right. But to me, this would be something that the FBI would be investigating, right? And when I called the local FBI, he didn't even know about it. Is that crazy? I said, you mean to tell me you don't know anything about these people that on November 4th? He says, well, I've been working on so many things. Come on. You don't know about November 4th? You're in the FBI and you don't even know about it? I mean, where in the world you had? Your head in the sand? I mean, this doesn't make any sense. This guy's supposed to be working for the FBI, and he doesn't even know about what's going down on November 4th. I mean, that's what my wife was saying. She was saying that she thinks they're all in part of it, including the FBI. And this is a whole stand-down operation. They're going to allow this. They're going to facilitate it. They're doing this to bring in their New World Order. And I started thinking about the message I just gave. How that was talking about the death angel and how death is coming and the sword is coming and to make sure that the blood is still there. How many know death is coming, people? All right? So let me go ahead and play this video for you because I really believe it's going to be an eye-opener to show you some things. I'm sure we'll get a lot of wows. So let's go ahead and play that for you.
And welcome back to another weekly analysis behind the news. Antifa has been a hot topic of late. Many may not realize, but the history of Antifa movement is communist. It was begun by Leon Trotsky as a communist auxiliary to fight and or intimidate any enemies of the communists in public venues. The logos of the German communist Antifa movement and the American Antifa movement are the same, showing the linkage. We even have photos showing anti-fascist flags within a circle at a Communist Party rally in Germany in the early 1930s.
Now, isn't that interesting? How Antifa is actually connected, what was connected to Hitler and Stalin. Interesting, isn't it? So they're all a part of the same group. They're all fascists. The white supremacists are fascists. These are just different branches of the same evil tree, people. Are you listening to me? Let's listen to the rest of this.
The hammer and sickle flag bracketed the anti-fascist logo. Once the communists lost the street battle against the Nazi brown shirts, the Antifa forces simply joined up with the brown shirts, since the only difference between the two were the color of their uniforms and their leader, Stalin or Hitler, incidentally both mass murderers. People back then, according to a German immigrant friend of mine, referred to them as beefsteak Nazis, brown on the outside and red on the inside. And after the so-called collapse of communism in the late 80s, the Antifa movement was revived in Germany. Then it moved into England and subsequently the United States. It is international in scope. Now the Refuse Fascism group, a related communist organization here in America, is planning a series of demonstrations on November 4th. Other groups of communists are climbing on board, but not all of them. One group, the Revolutionary Communist Party, has jumped on board, and this is significant since they were the primary organization that organized all the anti-police demonstrations all over the country in 2015. The mainstream media is saying nothing is going to happen on November the 4th. It remains to be seen. Frankly, we hope nothing happens. However, cities such as Seattle, New York, and Los Angeles appear to be planning demonstrations. In Seattle, they are rallying at the Seattle Central College campus and then moving off campus out into the streets. This is a standard tactic used by communist campus youth organizations for centuries all around the world. What can you do or not do if such a demonstration occurs in your city? First of all, do not react in a manner that will give the demonstrators an excuse to incite violence and the opportunity for the media and social media to capture video that will be sympathetic to the anti-fascist movement. And for heaven's sake, do not get involved with any group that advocates violence. Just as the Antifa communists joined the Nazis in Germany, there is evidence that certain so-called white supremacists are controlled by the same people that control Antifa. They want violence to create the mood in the American people for more federal involvement in local policing. Second, support your local police. They will be the target of much of the violence if it should occur. As part of this, ask your city officials to allow the police to do their job. Third, be prepared for the federal government to use this situation as a reason to insert themselves into our local law enforcement. Communities need to be aware of this and keep their local police independent from any federal control. So on November 4, stay home and tell your children to do likewise. One of the key ingredients of a large-scale violence is to first get as many people together as demonstrators or observers, then spark a riot. Stay home. If they do not have many people show up, it will put a damper on their plans. If your children are away at college, call them and ask them not to participate in or go anywhere near any demonstrations on campus. Be prepared to defend your property legally from damage and destruction if it appears your property will be close to any demonstration. The closer you will be, the more you will need to prepare. A bucket of water and a bucket of sand can be made ready. These can immediately extinguish a small fire lit by a burning object. Do not engage with the demonstrators. It can only get out of hand very quickly. Simply be prepared to defend your family and your property, but do not initiate any action yourself. Use your cell phone to record activity. It may become useful for the local authorities later on. By this, we mean at your property, not down the street at the demonstration. One of the things that can be done to quell violence in the future is to contact your congressman and ask them why they're not investigating the tax-deductible foundations that are financing these violent organizations. They are financing violence, criminal activity. The least the government can do is to revoke the tax deductibility of any foundation helping these violent groups. In the 1960s and 70s, government reports on the leaders and organizations of subversive groups helped expose them, and it was very helpful in stopping their organizing for violence. Finally, get involved with our Support Your Local Police and keep them independent committees. They are the vanguard protecting our communities. Until next time, we'll see you then.
So, interesting that this is all connected to Nazism. Isn't that interesting? So, I wanted to bring that information to you. That's still not the message I have that I'm going to be sharing in a little while. Still going to be sharing a message on patience. So be looking for that message. But I thought it was interesting to see how that this is connected. I need to take this call. I'm going to have to go, people. But I'll be back with the other broadcasts in a little bit. God bless you.